And you see there on the back side, there are 3 exercises, and the first 3 are mindfulness exercises. So resting in yourself, that's a 33-minute exercise, mindfulness exercise. And we have fully present, which is 15 minutes. And we have a really short being here and now.
I'll do that one.
And you will be able to do that one later. But for the first 2 weeks, I would like you to switch between the 2 longer ones. And on foot, that's instructions for walking meditation or walking mindfulness. So it's basically 7 minutes of instructions to get you started. And then you can set a watch for, if you want to do 15 minutes of mindful walking, then you just set your, a timer for 15 minutes. And the chattering monkey and carrying your backpack, those are 2 more specific exercises that you can play with later. But I'm going to go through suggestions for practice until we meet next time at the very end and give you some time to plan it. But a good question is, what is mindfulness? And there are many definitions of mindfulness. This is one that I use the most because it's quite simple. And it's from Jon Kabat-Zinn, saying that mindfulness is paying attention in a particular way, on purpose, in the present moment, non-judgmentally. Jon Kabat-Zinn. Sounds really simple, doesn't it? And I have another meditation teacher that says mindfulness is to know what you are doing while you are doing it. Pretty basic. Still can be quite difficult. And why mindfulness? So here we have a picture with the family, and they are going to Disney World. We can say that they're going to Disney World. And the kids are, oh, aren't we there soon? And I'm hungry and I need to pee. And oh, this is just so warm. So they have a condition that is natural pain, and they're reacting to it with adding more, oh. But look here what happens when they're mindful. Ta-dam! Whoa! So basically we have the same situation. It's warm, different needs. But they are there in the situation, watching the cows, taking in the experiences, and same situation, different responses. That makes different total.
The cows are more mindful?
Yeah, the cows are more mindful. If I go back, look, they're just sort of, what are those kind of screaming creatures out there? But here they're in totally harmony with the cows, and the cows is in harmony with the people.
That's why those games around each other work. For different.
Yeah, exactly. It makes you present here and now. Another thing that I sort of been thinking of when I'm here, because now I'm traveling. In Sweden I can do things on autopilot. I can do things like go to work without even have to think. I just do it automatically. But when I'm in a different country, I can't do things on autopilot anymore. So I need to sort of do things manually and shop and how do I check out and pay and where are the stuff and how do I find to the university, and everything is just so fresh in a way because I'm fully present here and now. Because if I'm not fully present here and now, I was just it wouldn't work. And I think that's sometimes what's vital with traveling. Traveling forces us to switch off the autopilot and become in manual mode and really be present here and now to learn. So why is mindfulness good? The studies is just really popping up now. Before it wasn't really scientifically okay to be interested in mindfulness because that was a bit like religion or New Age stuff. But actually, proper research has seen some really good effects of mindfulness. So the mindfulness research is really coming on now. And I could update this list, but with a lot of studies that have been done, but just to point at some areas, mindfulness has been proven to be very effective to help with stress, to relieve stress, especially 8 weeks programs where you do mindfulness exercises quite regularly. It has been proven in research from people that have recurrent depressions, major depressions, that it can prevent relapse in depression, especially for those that have had 2 or 3 or more episodes of depression. We have seen in our research, when we have been trying this exact model with this CD, that over a 2 years period of time, it can get down levels of anxiety and stress, and also improve psychological health and thinking, and promote greater psychological flexibility. There are some really cool studies where they have tried mindfulness for people that have psoriasis, the skin disease, and actually seen that if you meditate regularly, the skin heals faster.
If you meditate on the skin?
If you meditate regularly, the skin actually heals faster. They've seen in studies. They have seen that it can improve quality of sleep. People that meditate can handle pain in a better way. They have actually seen that in some research that people get more intelligent if they meditate. They become more creative. And also they have seen, because usually like the outer layer of our brain, that's what makes us sort of special, and where we have the language ability and stuff like that. And with age, this is usually getting thinner. But what I've seen is people that meditate a lot, when they grow older, it doesn't get thinner as with normal controls. It's really cool. And through practicing mindfulness, we can get a healthier perspective on our thoughts and feelings, and we learn to identify them and feel them, and to choose how to react to them. So in this way, we can create greater freedom for ourselves. And some really, really new area of research, which I think is really cool, is epigenetics and mindfulness. Have you heard about that? So basically, like, we have 10,000 genes, or 25,000 genes, but 10,000 of them are active. And it has been thought of pretty static, that that the gene setup that we have, that we can't really affect it. But now it's sort of turning more and more that we have epigenetics that says that, like, actually your lifestyle and what you do doesn't change the genes, but change what genes that are expressed or not. So basically, if they have seen in mindfulness that mindfulness practice can actually alter how 1,500 of our 10,000 active genes are expressed. So it could have a huge influence on maybe not us only, but also our children to be, and so on. So it's a cool area that it's sort of getting into. But I also said that when we are stressed, sometimes we don't think clearly. This is one on that topic. So basically, here are 3 guys, and they're going up 1 floor, and they're really stressed, and the elevator is out of order, and they're just so stressed so they can't see that there is also the stairs that they could use, or a ladder, or an escalator. So we're about to sum up session 1. So without looking into your papers and handouts, what have we been going through during session 1 today? Please just...
Acceptance.
Acceptance, so what would we...
Versus a change strategy.
Yeah, sorry?
Versus as an alternative to a change strategy.
Yeah, exactly.
Which works and where.
Yeah, so where to change and what to accept, and tease those apart. And acceptance, we talked about that. More? Stress. What did we talk about stress?
What is it?
Yeah, what is it? Good?
What effects does it have on us?
Yeah, what effects does this have on us? What is the direct fight, flight, or sympathetic response, and what effects does long-term stress have on our body when it comes to fat, to cortisol levels, and yeah, good. And we also said that stress is not dangerous in shorter periods of time. We also said that the problem with stress is not stress, but lack of restoration and winding down. Good. Yeah.
Difference between external world problems and
Yeah, exactly. So it seems to be,
Create hopelessness there.
yeah, a little creative hopelessness. Yeah.
Way to evaluate.
Yeah. So like this seems to be different things that works on the world inside our skin and the world outside our skin. So problem solving works perfect in the outer world, But sometimes when we try to get rid of things that happens in our inner world, it just sort of gets back at us. Mindfulness, we talked about mindfulness, yeah.
Mindfulness exercises.
And we have done mindfulness exercises, exactly. What kind of mindfulness exercises did we do?
You're going to sing a song if I touch you.
Yeah, gonna sing a song if I touch you. So that was an exercise where we actually tried and saw that just thoughts could evoke the fight-flight response. Just thinking could do that. Yeah, and also that illustrates like the effects that thinking can have, and that we're sort of facing new challenges that we need to, since we're spending so much time in our information society, we spend a lot of time in our head, and we need to find ways to get restoration from the actual physical responses that our thinking starts. And we said that exercise could be a good way to do it, and mindfulness is another good way to do it. And basically what I would say mindfulness is about is to active, because we're so used to be in the future, worrying about the future, ruminating about what has been. So we're usually like all over the place except from right here and now. So mindfulness is just another way to train ourselves, to take ourselves back to here and now. Again and again and again and again. And then we will get better at it. And I'm not saying that it's bad to be in the future or in the past. Sometimes that's good. If we are to plan for some presentation or a meeting or something like that, it's good to be able to project the future and go in there and problem solve and try it in the head. It's just that we want to train our ability to do that deliberately, so we can be there when we want to be there, but also so we can be here when we are here. Because if I can step away from the ruminating, worrying thoughts about the future and just bring myself back to the present moment, in the present moment I don't go on to this thought train that will just elicit the fight-flight response. Yeah. Is there anything else we did today?
The 5 animals.
The 5 animals, yeah?
That one.
Qigong exercise. It's really simple, so I like the beauty with that. It's so simple, and it doesn't take long time. Yeah? Anything else? Yeah, I think that basically covers it. So, to practice at home until next meeting, as I said, like this course is 2 months. 2 months is a very short period of time in a year, and especially 2 months of your life. That's nothing. It's not even a percent. So just try those things, play with them for the coming 2 months, and after 2 months evaluate if there was something in it for you. So when you do the mindfulness exercises, you will sometimes think that it's worthwhile, amusing, or sometimes just flat out boring. Whatever shows up for you, that's totally fine. And also I want you to remind you that it can be frustrating when we say, oh, I'm not here. I can't even focus 2 seconds, and then my mind drifts off. And when you have noticed that you have drifts off, then you're completely on target. That's mindfulness. So that's basically what we're going to do. Teach ourselves to get back in the present moment over and over and over and over and over again. So it's like running a marathon. We need slow and long-term practice to become better at this. Because usually it has been like decades of years where we haven't been training on getting present here and now. So usually it will take some time before we get better at this skill. So have compassion with yourself and don't be too hard on yourself. So I suggest that you try mindfulness 4 times a week.